Well, hello there. This is Mehmet, Amma to some of you. Welcome to this video. And this video, like the ones in this series, requires a disclaimer. You're not going to like it. Some people in your life will not like it. But you need to hear this. And so when you hear this, you are able to make changes in your life that those people may not like. But that's all right. I'm going to share with you the 4 rules of healthy engagement. These things work best, especially with relationships that are not intimate. All right. So you might not want to apply this religiously to your marriage. It will be problematic because in your marriage, there are certain requirements that this set of rules will not take off. You might not want to apply this in your workplace, especially to your bosses. No. This is the 4 rules for social engagement with people on the periphery. Yeah, the 4 rules, and those of you who know me and you watch me on my page will understand some of my behaviors after you've seen this video. This is the 4 rules of dealing with strangers. It works best with strangers. People that you don't have emotional attachments to, people that you associate with loosely. And so bear that in mind as you listen. You might want to temper some of these rules for your amorous relationship, and it will make sense when I tell you the 4 things that you never do. The first thing is to not defend. Don't defend. Many of you have seen me do this on my channel, and many of you come in my inbox to discuss it. Amma, such a body is attacking you. Why are you not saying anything? Don't defend. I do not defend. There are certain things that don't need you to defend. Yes, it is an easier thing to do to come and clear your name, as most people say. Clear your name. No, you don't need to clear your name all the time. No. Sometimes you just need to let people do them. You need to let people expose themselves. You need to just hold it in and focus on the things that matter. Don't defend. Don't defend when people who are not that significant go for you. Even if a person is significant, don't defend sometimes allows you to let the person go full circle and to find the folly in their own actions and for them to realize certain things about your character. I have to say, don't defend requires you to have balls of steel. You have to have the capability of holding your nerve. The best thing to do for most people's emotions is to just jump and go for instant gratification. But sometimes, in wanting to gratify instantly, you say things you are not supposed to say. You do things you are not supposed to do. And you compromise yourself. So, in the interest of this, the first rule says, don't defend. Don't engage. There are times where people just come for you because they want you to engage. They say things because they want to draw you out. They want to bring you into a particular discourse, which often will not help you. Don't engage. The things that you often need not to defend are also done to you to get your engagement. Don't react. Don't respond. So for me recently, one of my sisters had an issue and she came out publicly to discuss it. People were in my inbox. I'm at this, I'm at that. And some of the people who came to my inbox did not even get a response. Most of those things did not get a response. Why did they not get a response? Manson refused to engage. Why did I not engage? Because I picked up the intentions behind the messages. They were not contacting me because they were concerned about the relationship between me and my sister, and she is my sister. I don't know about you and your sisters, whether you don't have disagreements with your sisters. I do. I do battle with my sisters. The thing is though, that battle doesn't change me and my sisterhood. This is me. People were here, have you seen, have you seen, have you heard, have you heard? And no, I don't engage in a lot of the have you seen, have you heard. I did not answer a lot of those phone calls. I certainly did not respond. And there are some of the messages that I did not even dignify. with the 2 blue ticks on WhatsApp. I did not. I wanted you to know that I was ignoring your message. And so I did. The rule I was applying in this particular time is don't engage. Why should you not engage? People want to engage you because they want to draw you out. People want to engage you because they want an opportunity to compromise you. They know that you are angry. They know that you are upset. They know that you are a human being and you have feelings. And so, in the midst of your feelings being all over the place, they want to get you to say something so that they can turn around and say, she said this. Oh, she did this. Look at her. So, in the interest of the way you want to position yourself, ultimately, in the interest of the things that are important to you, when it seems like a cool thing to do to engage with some of these people, you have to recognize the intentions behind the engagements they are looking for and understand that they are looking to nail you. And because you know the intention behind it, don't engage. I'm not available. I am otherwise occupied. The next one. Most of the people who want you to engage are also looking for you to explain. Well, rule number 3 is don't explain. Amma Manson comes, Amma Manson does, Amma Manson goes, no explanation. Amma Manson goes about the way I do things, and when I am done with the way I do things, I move on. If you understand my strategy, that's grand. It's wonderful if you get my strategy. If you don't understand my strategy, that's also okay. There is no law that says I must explain why I am doing this. I'm a Manson. Why won't you come and explain? Because I don't explain. I'm a Manson. Why are you like that? And this is something a lot of people misunderstand. And they say, one, that I am two-faced, that I'm not loyal, that I'm impersonal, that I am this, I'm that. I understand that risk. But I also balance that risk with my gains. Not coming to explain things cuts back on the long tails. When you get involved in long tails, you talk too much. You give away your strategy cheaply. You allow people to see your weaknesses so that they will be able to exploit those weaknesses as much as they want to. The best thing to do sometimes is this. Don't explain. Regardless of what people are saying, don't explain. Regardless of the negative connotations that people are tied into things, don't explain. If you are doing things for the right reasons, eventually you will be justified. You will be justified without explanation. And this has happened so many times in my dealings with people. People will go forward, they will come back, and sometimes months, sometimes years later, hey, oh my God, I now get it. Why didn't you explain? I want you to come to that conclusion yourself. If I explain to them my motives in the heat of the moment, they will not even understand. It will weaken a position. They will go forwards and backwards and they will make realizations. And yes, when people make realizations and they come back later to tell you, you have settled the dust in the right places. I've told you of this girl that I mentored and this girl that I had gone to battle for, who thought that I was not protecting her. It took a decade and over. It took about 12 years for her to herself get into a managerial position, for her to herself begin to work with mentees, for her to encounter a mentee who was doing to her what she had done to me. And fortunately, she went back to our boss complaining. Our boss took that opportunity to remind her, to tell her for the first time, do you know when this happened? This is what she did. Did she ever tell you? She says, no. You should have been on my phone to listen to that conversation. Oh my God, 12 years it took this person. Having said all sorts of things about me, having called me all sorts of names in all sorts of places. 12 years. And this person comes back. I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. See, for me, those 12 years were worth it because she knows my motive now. She is clear that I was not taking her on a journey using my fancy words because I never spoke. She realized my intentions independent of me. And when she realized my intentions independent of me, Her engagement with me going forward will operate on, well, this one is not one I engage with much going forward. But if it was somebody I was engaging with, we would be operating on a new level of trust and understanding. When people know independently that you will go to battle for them, that you will give a leg and an arm for them, people have to come to those. Yeah, my husband and the kids will go through and they'll be like, why didn't you say anything? I wanted you to find out. I wanted you to know. I wanted you to understand. You see, in using that strategy with the kids and my husband in particular, we have come to a point where my intentions are quite clear. He knows what I will do and what I will not do, because over the long length of the relationship I've had with him, there are many times where I could have explained and I could have been popular with him, but I chose not to. And on those occasions, sometimes I have not been popular at all. And then after a while, when he comes to realize things, he's finally worked out that I am actually for him, even when it's not obvious that I'm being for him. That's how you want it to be. You want people to know of their own volition, of their own accord, so that they don't feel like it's you who's leading them to come to their decisions. That's why you don't explain. Don't explain. It's a risk, of course. And no, in the instant you lose. Instantly you lose. In the grand scheme of things, you win. Because people come to understanding. The dust settles, the cookie crumbles, and everything settles in its right place. Yeah, and if it doesn't settle in the right place, well, that relationship was not meant to be anyway. You will lose some of the relationships on your way, of course. The last one, rule number 4, is don't personalize. This one is hard. Somebody's angry. They are calling you names. It's you they are attacking. Don't personalize. They are not attacking you. They are exhibiting the instabilities in themselves. It is the unhappiness they have within which is being expressed at your expense, of course, but it is their innate unhappiness. It is the fact that people have betrayed them their entire lives. That's why they cannot trust you. It's not you, really. You can't personalize. The name calling, well, they are calling you names because they have had practice in life. People who have not called names before do not know where to call you names, even if they are angry. If you encounter somebody who's very skilled at calling you names, well, it's not you. Other situations, other people have helped them to learn how to insult and how to attack. Don't personalize it. Sometimes it's simply the person's mental illnesses. And yeah, some people are mentally ill. All sorts of mental illnesses are possible. There are some people who have trust issues. And so one small thing, they are off. You are not true. You are not. You cannot personalize it. They have trust issues. You have to acknowledge that they have trust issues. Yes, it is you they are attacking at the moment, but you've got to learn to take a step back and realize that this is not really about you. They are jealous of you. Well, jealousy is internally driven. It is internal deficits that make people jealous. It's not what you've done, really. It's not what you've done. Sometimes it is your aura. Sometimes it's just your personality. That presses buttons internally at deficits that this person has themselves. And so they will come for you. You cannot personalize it. I know they are insulting you. I know they are dragging your name. But you've got to realize that it is driven and fueled by things that are beyond you sometimes. Don't personalize it. Don't internalize it. If you don't personalize it and if you don't internalize it, you are able to let a person carry on. The person is exhibiting himself. So you can let him exhibit himself. If the exhibition of himself is calling you names and you understand that he is exhibiting himself, you let him be. You want people to actually show their true colors to you. So these 4 things will help you to get to know people's true colors. You will understand how people actually relate with you. Don't personalize. Don't take it personally so that it doesn't trigger you emotionally. Because if you are not emotionally triggered, you can apply the other the other three. Yeah. If you are emotionally triggered, you will engage because you are upset. You will defend. Of course, you will. Yes. And you will explain because you are emotionally triggered. If you are able to maintain that personal distance and not personalize issues, if you are able to let people unravel without taking it to heart, if you can let people be, eventually they will show you who they are, the dust will settle. Those who will find you out to be the gem you really are will find you out to be the gem you really are. Some of them will come back and do retribution. Why didn't you explain? Why must I? You and I have roles for quite a while. I expect you to know what I'm about by this time. No, I will not explain. No, I will not engage. No, I will not defend. I'm not doing any of those three because I actually don't take it personally. I don't. I am emotionally detached from a lot of these things. It is that emotional detachment that tells the difference between those who are able to apply the other three and those who are not. Sometimes a person will insult me. I will meet this person. I will still smile courteously at the person. And this is why people say I am two-faced. I'm not two-faced. I just don't take you personally. The insults, you are like a child. I've raised 2 children. They hate me every week. You know that? I've raised a teenage girl. She hates me every week. I have ruined her social life. I have done this. I get accused by all sorts of things. But you see, when my daughter accuses me of those things, I know it is the hormones speaking. She doesn't even mean it. So I don't sweat it. She goes off, and after she's done with the rage, she will come and hug you and say sorry. If you took that outburst personally, it will ruin your relationship with your child, won't it? It's the same way. That's the same way I see it. Yeah. Nope. You want to have an outburst, that's fine. You are allowed. When you've gone full circle and you realize that I'm actually not your enemy and that I had your back all along, come back. When my daughter comes back smiling cheap, I'm so sorry, mommy. I don't know why I did that. Like it was the hormone speaking. I do know it's the hormone speaking. She gets away back in because I did not attack when she was on the attack. I did not personalize it. I have learned to emotionally distance. Yes, it is currently a tantrum, but the tantrum is just a reaction to something. Sometimes out of my control, other times within my control. But it's a tantrum. Does she really hate me? No, she does not. I know that for sure. And so when she says, I hate you, mommy, I hate you, mommy, I'm like, okay, because I have depersonalized it. Okay. When you stop hating me, come, let's talk. Yeah. And that is what most people find difficult. How can you stand there? How can you stand there and not react? I used to accuse my dad. It is maturity. Allowing people to be, knowing that people have frailties, and being gracious towards people in their moments of frailty. That's what it is. And if you are able to learn that emotional maturity, you will not take things personally. You will not react. You will not stand in the fire and want to quench it from within. You will learn to step outside the fire, find your resources, and quench. You will quench fire much better from the outside in than to stay in the fire, be burnt by the fire, and attempt to quench the fire. It makes no sense. So let's go through them again. Don't defend. Don't engage. Don't explain. And whatever you do, do not personalize. It's not personal. It's not you. It's them most of the time. And if it's you, you take your time, have a look, decide how you want to react to that, what serves you the best, and you do it. In the heat of the moment, don't explain. The only way you will stop explaining or defending, or sometimes even attacking, is if you learn not to personalize it. Hopefully, it's not too difficult for you. Hopefully, I have shown you the advantages and disadvantages of the strategy. And for those who see the advantages, I will do more on the topic to help you with emotional distance. I'll see you soon.